going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz podcast. We in the Fight Club going to T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas to talk UFC 290, arguably the best card of the year. International Fight Week also happens to be on my birthday, July 8th this year. And as always, if y'all didn't know, this is Totally Blitz podcast. These are your hosts. I'm Paul, Pickle when I'm Concha, and I'm joined with
Hey man, happy birthday to a real gangster, my boy Powell, man. My boy got the M in his head, real macho shit. Man, we lit, man. And if you didn't know, you're stupid. But you're not regular stupid. You just didn't know. My name is Kev Waterboy Savoy, aka the Don PYE. You see me repping the brand. And Paul Wu, man, he turning 25, UFC 290. Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez, uno Mexicano. Pantoja versus Brandon Moreno, dos Mexicano. I'm just saying, Pablo, this is gonna be a good day. What are you looking forward to for this card?
Man, honestly, Stack talked about it, but like this, I'm hoping they all bring it because sometimes these high level cards don't always bring it. I'm hoping that this is the one that is high level on paper and it brings the excitement. And I mean, it is International Fight Week. We got a fucking South African, Dricus Du Plessis, Cameron Simone, um, Tatsuo Taira, fucking Japan's being represented. You already spoke on the Mexicans. We got New Zealand with Jack Della Mandela and Alexander Volkanovski. Fucking Brazil with Pantoja. And even Dan Hooker's representing the island over there, but Pantoja, Denise Gomez, like Brazil's got their fighters, Victor Pantino, like International Fight Week, baby. Every country's gonna bring it, and every country's gonna be represented.
Hey man, it's fucking lit, man. I mean, I liked last year's International Fight Week. Who do we have? We had Izzy versus Cannonier and Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. I mean, it wasn't like crazy exciting and crazy electric and crazy fiery, but it was a good fucking card and it was a good experience. But they did their thing this year. You telling me you got two title fights. You got Bo Nickel and Trayshawn Gore just to start it off. Oh, it's gonna be a fucking banger of a card. You got motherfucking. I'm missing Robbie Lawlers on this motherfucker. Who
Oh
else is
yeah,
on this
the
card?
legend. And I believe this is his last fight too. So this is gonna be the wrap to his Hall of Fame career.
Bro, and I've been doing my research on Robbie Lawler. He's a hitter for sure. The fact that he left and came back, well, I wouldn't say left. He kind of maybe got the boot and came back. Oh my gosh, how are we forgetting Robert Whitaker?
The Reaper.
Come on, man. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. And don't forget Jalen Turner. Bro, this card is fucking crazy lit.
Yeah, no, for fucking um, you got the old school, like the old school Strike Force veteran, Elite XC veteran, Robbie Lawler, and then you got the new school. And honestly, it's kind of hard to pick who's the best prospect on here. Bo Nickel? Is it Jack Della Maddalena? Is it Tatsuo Taira? Is it Cameron Simon? Is it Dricus Du Plessis?
It is not Dricus Du Plessis. No,
it
I will
is
say that.
not.
It is not Dricus.
No,
But
stacked. I mean, any way you want to cut this cake.
this is a great fucking card, homie. I'm looking at this card like, wow. But what fight do you want to get into first?
Uh, let's handle the prospects off rip. This one we can cover real quick because if you watched our card like 2-3 weeks ago, where Tatsuya Taira was supposed to fight on, but Klotson Rodriguez came in overweight and they didn't fight. Well, Taira, like I said when I broke him down on that video, he's the reason why a lot of people fuck with him is because he's very active. A lot of these prospects look at Patty once he became famous. Like he was just one fight a year, two. Like he's kind of where the fuck is Patty? Taira, like, okay, you didn't get the fight then, stayed in shape, turn it around, put you on the fucking 290 card. So, like, again, elite wrestling. He's a minus 900 favorite. I'm not going to count out Egler Chairez because, I mean, even though he's plus 600, I can't count out a Mexican that is on the same card as two other co-Mexicans that are fighting in the main event. So maybe there'll be something in the water from Homeboy. But yeah, Tyera is legit, and if you haven't, go watch that preview from a few weeks ago to get the full breakdown on him.
Hell yeah. But it just hit me. I asked you a question you didn't answer. What are you looking more forward to most on this card?
Oh, looking most forward to. Honestly, the one if I'm picking a specific fight, I'm looking for it's gonna be the Moreno Pantoja fight. And there's just a lot more, and like they have two previous meetings where Moreno lost, actually got kicked out of the UFC with one of those losses, then came back. And I think there's actually bad blood there because Pantoja feels like he should like he called Moreno and someone else like, oh, let my two children fight each other because that's how he viewed them as like his children. So I think it was Kai Car France. He was like, yeah, let my two children fight each other because he beat both of them and they were fighting for the interim belt. So like he was already talking his own little shit. He felt like he should be the one fighting for belts here. Like so, I'm rooting for my boy Moreno, but all the fights, I think that one got me the most. Like, okay, let's see what happens.
Nice, 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 nice. I like to see it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing Dana White after this motherfucking conference because I haven't seen this man at a press conference in a minute.
Yeah, and hopefully the casinos let him gamble. Hopefully they let my boy do a little bit of blackjack.
Yeah. But nah, shout out them boys, man. But on to this card, man. So we start Ty. I'm not even gonna say his name. Who's next, man?
Cameron Simon, shout out Tom Clark TV over there. He has an interview with Cameron Simon that just got posted a week ago. Nice little interview. Go check him out on YouTube and anywhere you listen to your podcast. Or go follow him on Twitter. I'll probably drop a link in the description down below for his Twitter. But yeah, Cameron Simon's a fellow South African that's like Dricus du Plessis. So they got two South Africans on here, but he's the
I
one.
thought you were talking about you for a second. I was about to say fellow South African. How you?
Oh no,
you drinking that Kool-Aid?
no. But people are saying he's the legit one. A lot of people know what people really think of Dricus. Cameron Simon, though, people usually hold him in high regard. 3 fights in the UFC off the Contender Series in 2022. Since 3 fights in, 2 knockouts and 1 decision win. So, I mean, there isn't a lot of fighters coming out of South Africa. So this is, I guess, their favorite guy right now.
And if you were to ask South Africans, they'll say they're the most African fighters.
Hey, that is what they'll say. I'm not saying that's what we say. I'm just saying that's what they say.
No.
I would say this card has the potential because like there's so many big favorites that like it feels like we should know who's gonna win some of these fights. But there's potential where like if Dricus wins, like this card has ripple effect. Like this card here, like this would be big. Like some big shit could happen in this card. So like that's what's also so exciting.
If Dricus were to win, first off, shout out Bourbon and Bud. My dog Knuckles would probably set himself on fire.
I think he said if Dricus wins, like I don't think Whitaker will be his favorite fighter anymore. Like he'll have to free agency find someone else. I could be wrong. He said something bold where he was like, if Dricus wins, this is what I'm gonna.
He said it in Twitter space.
I can't remember. I
remember him saying something in Twitter space, but I was listening to music.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
But there's so much. But hey, shout out to Cameron Simon. He works with Smoke Podcast. I fuck with bro. I got him picked. He's like what, a -400 favorite right now?
Yeah, 440 moved up a little bit more.
That's crazy. So yeah, hey, you better fuck him up. But what's he good at?
I mean, he's good on the feet. I mean, there hasn't been much of him. Yeah, there's a couple fights, but 2 of them, like I said, have been knockouts, and I believe both of them were early. Oh no, both third round, but he has a little bit of wrestling because he will shoot a takedown, but he likes to stand up. Like it makes him fun. He throws a lot of volume too, which is also fun. So like he's just exciting. He throws a lot of volume. He's got the power, and he does have a little bit of wrestling, but he likes to stand up. So that's why people like him.
Oh man, some group chat going crazy right now. That boy real arguing with somebody. I have to put them boys on do not disturb.
And he's 22 years old.
So yeah, damn, he's 22.
Yeah, 22 years old. So yeah, like the future is bright with him right now.
I would
22
say
years
bro
old,
was
three wins in the UFC is a good something good.
bro was born in the 2000s.
It could be another 135er to keep your eye on. Then let's jump over to, I guess, the most seasoned prospect on here. I don't know if we can still call him a prospect because he's now ranked in the top 15. But Jack Della Maddalena, a lot of people, JDM is what a lot of people refer to him as. Just JDM, I mean, every UFC fighter that goes by three initials, it's always been a great. So
Consistently.
he's 14-2. First two fights in his MMA professional career was losses. Then he goes on a 14-fight win streak, including winning in Dana White Contender Series, and then following up that with three straight first round knockouts and then a first round submission. So last four fights all ended in the first round. Coming off a submission win of our boy Randy Brown. So
That shit was bad too. That shit was hurtful.
yeah, and this is like this Australian here. Like JDM is that guy. I mean, he might be Twitter's favorite prospect right now. He might be the one who, if you're trying to get someone into UFC and you want to sound like you, like if they don't know much about these fighters, and you want to sound like a know-it-all, you might be talking about JDM and be like, yeah, he's gonna be fighting for a belt in the next 2 years. So then in 2 years, when he is, you look like a genius.
Me personally, I'm gonna bring up Ilya Taporia, but that's just me.
Another one, but another one, minus 900 favorite. He's going up against Josiah Harrell, plus 550 in the odds, 7-0. This will be his first fight in the UFC. He had one fight in the LFA. He got a third round knockout. He was former OCL, Ohio Combat League champion in 2022. So, like, he's getting fast tracked here. Like first fight in the UFC, first fight in like any major promotion. And he's going up against a top 15 guy who a lot of people already put in like title contendership hopeful on next to his name. So the odds are there for a reason. I'm rocking with JDM, but Josiah Harrell, the only thing I can point out to him is that boy speared somebody out of a fucking cage a couple of years ago, broke the cage door. How hard he speared him through the fucking door. So
No, that shit is fucking insane. Cause like that shit only happens in wrestling because they want it to happen. Like they pencil that in. But JDM is a problem. He's a monster. He's an animal, and I don't see him losing that steam right now. Because one thing I feel like they've been doing, or maybe UFC has always done this, but like they'll get a guy that's from another promotion and or guy or girl, because they did it last week on the card, and they'll put him against a hitter, and then now they kind of get steamrolled. Like who was it? Sean Strickland last week fought against the dude. It was his second fight in the
UFC.
second fight in the UFC. He's taking a step up to Sean Strickland, number 7. Like the UFC is just known for doing shit like that. And I want to say there was a women's fight too that was like that. So it was just like I don't know. I think if you can come from another promotion and be just as dominant, that's respect. But I don't think that's always a good recipe for success, especially against somebody that's streaking like JDM right now.
Yeah. And big odds. But that's what I was saying. A lot of these fights, the odds are so massive where we're sitting here like we know who's gonna win. It's kind of hard to even talk about the other guy because the other guy don't have much film to work with or has any like his wins, even if he looks good in those wins, is against very low competition. Probably, and it's kind of like how can you judge that going into now UFC, which is at a certain caliber of level, and but that's what makes this card fun because if any of these motherfuckers lose, oh my god, it's gonna be a field day on Twitter. Oh my god.
And you got to also remember it's a short notice fight. So you know, in short notice fights, anything can happen.
Yeah, I was hoping Kevin Holland would get the fight here because he was talking big shit, talking about he'll fight here and then at 291 against Chiesa still. And I was like, I don't know Holland because if you take damage in this fight, they're not gonna allow you to fight in that next fight.
That's some ranking shit. It's just on some ranking shit. Like he'll take the fight here against a ranked guy that he thinks he can beat him, especially on short notice, beat him. And now, boy, you got to double up the pay.
Nah, that's true. I did you all a favor. like Sean Strickland would say.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our next fight, the most experience on the card right here, Robbie Lawler plus 210 on the odds. The bookmakers aren't fucking with the gut dog. Going up against Nico Price minus 260. This is gonna be the farewell tour. Do you think Robbie got one more in him at 41 years old?
Bro, if I said the UFC ain't shit for putting up ranked opponents against like superstars from other promotions, they're definitely not shit for putting up and coming talent up against motherfucking older veterans to kind of just send them out the door with a fucking. Imagine if last week is Kevin Lee's last fight. Imagine if Tony Ferguson last fight against Mike. It was that's not the same. But imagine if Tony Ferguson's last fight was against Michael Chandler. Imagine if like it's like the fact that they fade BJ Penn to a 10th ranked Yair Rodriguez. Like
if Tony Ferguson decided to go up to welterweight to end his career, and they're like, "All right, you come to welterweight, your first fight be Shavkat Rakhmonov."
Dead ass. Nate Diaz versus Hamzat Chimaev. Like,
yeah, like what?
Like the UFC ain't shit. They be killing it up.
I have a theory, bro. Maybe Dana White is like, all right, if you retire, I don't want you going to fight over at Bellator or like one of these other promotions gets you after you retire. So I gotta break you. I gotta destroy you.
Dana White says he does what's best for business. Nate subbing Tony Ferguson in that main event was probably the worst. I bet you Dana White like threw up a little bit, like his stomach turned.
Yeah.
He was like, man, fuck y'all for fucking this up. I was gonna get him murdered and I was gonna give Chamzat the title shot next. But y'all fucked all this up. So now y'all get Leon versus Kobe. But yeah, so I'm rooting for Robbie Lawler. I'd hope that he can come out because I just did some research on bro. And the fact that he left the UFC, got booted from the UFC, came back, fucked shit up, won the title. It probably has two of the arguably greatest championship fights of all time because he's a fucking brawler. Let's hope that he Lawler the brawler. But let's hope that he leaves on his shield. And if not, hope he survives 3 rounds.
Like Nico Price is no world beater, don't get me wrong. He's a win one, lose one type of guy. Like he has a win over Randy Brown, and then he lost to Abdullah Hassan, and then he follows up with a win over Tim Means, and then loses to Geoff Neal. Then he gets a win to James Vick. Then he loses to Vicente Luque. Then he loses to Michael Pereira. Then he gets a win over Oliveira, and then he just lost to Phil Rowe. Like he's a win one, lose one, every one. Like
is he the last person to beat Oliveira before Islam?
No, this ain't Charles Oliveira. This is Alex Cowboy Oliveira. Remember the one Kev Holland fought? Yeah, not. But like, so he's no world beater. I'm gonna go Robbie Lawler just because like, even though Nico Price does throw a lot of shots, he also takes a lot of shots, and I think Robbie Lawler is not gonna like. He either gonna get KO'd very badly, or he might KO home dude. Because I think there's gonna be an amount of respect for Nico Price. Like Robbie Lawler is gonna tell him like, "Come on, let's bang right here," and then they're just gonna bang. And I think this fight could be over in like a minute, a round right now.
Robbie Lawler is a gangster like that.
And I think if you're Nico Price, you give him that respect of like, all right, bet we're gonna bang it out, let's bang it out. And then I'm just hoping Robbie in the southpaw stance can land one mean shot.
Now I'm looking forward to this fight. I might be looking forward to this fight more than any other fight now.
Featured prelim for a reason. You got it on cable television to let you watch it. Then this fight should have been on the main card, but instead we're gonna get Bo Nickel versus Tresean Gore. I think Bo Nickel's first fight on the main card pay-per-view.
No, I think the last one he fought on Izzy's card last time.
Was he on the main card too?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he was on the John Jones and Cyril Gahn card. And he fucked it up in like 2 minutes or something like that.
fuck Jamie Pickett up. I think he arm triangled his ass.
Arm triangle is cool enough, but it was the display of wrestling he put on, bro. To get him down was insane. I was like, I saw him wrestle, and I was like, yeah, he's from Penn State. That's the first thing I seen was like, yeah, he's from Penn State. That was so Penn. He has so it's a Penn State style of wrestling, and it's just a smother you, kill you. David Taylor gave nobody a chance. Like that's what Penn State does.
And don't get me wrong, like Trayshawn Gore got good MMA wrestling, good MMA wrestling, and he got heavy hands. But like, I remember I hyped up Bo Nichols so much on the John Jones Gone card that even you were looking at me like, I got to see it, Paul. Like you saying a lot of things, and I got to see it. And I was like, bro, he's honestly probably gonna be the like if he already can stand up and bang with you. He's only gonna get better, and no one's gonna beat his wrestling. Maybe the Dagestani Warriors will. We gotta see. That'll be a great fight to see his wrestling against the Dagestani wrestling. But I really think the sky's the limit for Bo Nickel. And people can keep hating on him. Oh, he's getting fast tracked. He's 4 fights in. He was 3 fights in getting main card status. That was suck my dick, bro. He's about to steamroll for Trayshawn Gore, and like I fuck with Trayshawn Gore. Like, and he's about another first round finish. Well, he's gonna be top fighting against a ranked guy pretty soon because Izzy's running out of people.
Yeah, he's gonna definitely get fast track. But it's funny, these American wrestlers, the UFC is really investing a lot of money, should be investing a lot of money into them because they see how the Dagestanis are winning these split decisions and shit. Because motherfucking we saw Grant Dawson last week. Bo Nickel this week. I'm just saying, man, but Dana White's investing a little bit of money into these American wrestlers. But we can talk as much good as we want about Bo Nickel. I got my dog Trayshawn Gore. My boy, he fucks with small podcast. He's a real nigga. Stay blessed. And the coolest thing about Trayshawn Gore is that he does have that knockout power, that knockout ability. So like a lot of people might be looking at it like he's about to get bulldozed. And I mean, if you looked at Bo Nickel's last fight and you look at the fights in the fucking contender series, none of them bitches barely went 1 minute. So like I can understand that, but like I think if you come in too aggressive, that could be your downfall. And Trayshawn Gore needs to find that opening, and just it's all part of God's plan, man. So just stay blessed. And if there's an opening, kill that shit, take that shit. And please, I don't know, it's gonna be tough to stuff those takedowns. So like catch that boy with a knee.
That's gonna be the thing that I think separates Bo Nickel from any other fighter that we've seen so far. Because like even Chimaev is like it too. Because like if their hands connect, like Bo Nickel, the only way you're gonna stuff Bo Nickel is if you like literally do not let him like clinch you. But the moment he's not, I don't think we're gonna be seeing like clinch work from Bo Nickel that doesn't succeed until him picking you to the ground. That's just my opinion on him. I think he's gonna be a lot harder to stop than like some of these other good MMA wrestlers that you can stuff like 20 of their takedowns. I just think Bo Nickel is not gonna be somebody that like you're gonna be like Marvin Vettori's a really good middleweight wrestler. Bo Nichols laps around him, I believe.
Well, I would have agreed with you because I had Bo Nickel for a little bit, maybe a few months, but I knew there was something about it when I went to go watch him betting today. That boy was getting a haircut. I was like, see, you ain't listening. You ain't see what happened to Justin Gaethje. What happened to Kamaru Usman.
So he also, people are saying there's footage of it that's back that him versus Jamie Pickett on that Jones card, there was an illegal ball hit that should have stopped the fight, and Jamie Pickett was affected. But Jamie Pickett even did say like, "Hey, like I'm not blaming Bo Nickel. Like if the ref don't stop it, I'm gonna take advantage of it too." So but he was just like there was that, and the footage clearly shows like an accidental hit to the groin or like dead on the nuts. So so maybe that's why he got taken down so easy. There are some questions I think will be answered here, but I'm full steam ahead with Bo Nickel right now.
That boy should have got a lineup on the last. He should have got lined up before and better got there, man. I don't know, man. And it was against the grain. I was like, ugh, can't trust you.
Our next fight, this one could be a bloodbath, but we got Jalen Turner going up against Dan Hooker. Your city kickboxing people, Kev. This is your squad right here. This is one of the first. This is one of the very first people that came over with Izzy. But I mean, people fuck with Dan Hooker. I love that he gave us the Poirier fight. That was a banger. He gave us who else he fight? That was an absolute slobber knocker. Fun. Who I'll pull it up in a second. But Michael Chandler was it? He got knocked out. Who was it? Edson Barbosa, the 3-round fight with Barbosa. But I've never been a Dan Hooker fan, so I think this is about to be a bloodbath. Jaden Turner, 6'3", the triantula for a reason. He's long as shit, southpaw stance, likes to use the distance. He's also can submit you if it hits the mat. He did lose a split decision to Gamrot earlier this year. But outside of that, like he submitted Brad Riddell and was whooping his ass on the stand up. He got a knockout win over Jamie Malarkey. He's just multiple submission wins before that as well, leading up to that knockout win. Like he's everything I like in a fighter, and he's so long. And I just think there's gonna be a fight where I think Dan Hooker's bleeding in the first round. Dan Hooker lands some good shots, but I think this is gonna be Jalen Turner who's kind of putting a beat down on Hooker for a couple because Hooker never knows when to give up. So it's gonna be like a 3-round beat down.
So if you know me, you already know I'm CKB for life. Forever, you feel me? But I'm not a big Dan Hooker fan either. I'm not gonna lie. I fuck with Jalen Turner. So like I forgot that then I be forgetting Dan Hooker is CKB until you remind me every card. So I definitely got Jalen Turner in this one. I just like his fighting style. He's long as fuck. And like, I don't know, he gives me Anderson Silva vibes a little bit. Like, I don't know, I fuck with bro. And he got some clean braids.
And this is it Dan Hooker's first fight back up? It's at lightweight because he did go down to featherweight for a little stint, and he got destroyed by Arnold Allen. And oh no, this is second fight. Yeah, he got destroyed by Arnold Allen in one featherweight fight, and then immediately went right back up to lightweight.
Yeah, this was not a good idea.
Yeah, so that this
I did.
he did. He's coming off a window. He knocked out Chad Puyeles in his last fight, and it was a pick'em fight, and I did go against Dan Hooker for the same reason.
I didn't I didn't know he still had a contract after that IV shit.
Oh yeah,
I was shocked. I remember seeing him on the Fight Watch Fighter Remove, Dan Hooker. I was like, oh shit.
Man can't. But I will give him the credit that his last few losses are to Arnold Allen, Islam Makhachev, Michael Chandler.
Yeah, he has lost the hitters. I will respect him. Nobody's ever said tested his toughness, but we'll see. But I fuck with Jalen Turner. I think he just needs to start streaking so he can really make a shake in that division.
And then this is gonna be the fight right here that everyone's waiting for: Robert Whitaker versus Dricus Du Plessis. Do we get the Whitaker Izzy a rematch again, or is Dricus Du Plessis gonna shake up this division and go for a title fight after this?
Can I answer both? So I think in a perfect world, the way this goes is Izzy fights the winner, Sean Strickland fights the loser.
Yeah, I like that.
But here's my thing. But Bobby Knuckles is Izzy's one, he's one A, he's one B, or he's one A. Like that's just the way it goes. Cause he's not no second rate. He's beating everybody. If Izzy's not in this division, we're talking, is Robert Whitaker the second greatest middleweight champion of all time?
Potentially best middleweight, because if Izzy doesn't come, he's doing what Izzy's doing currently.
Yes.
He's just running through the same people and whooping their ass all over again too. That's what he's doing currently without a belt.
Yeah, that's facts. But it's tough to do that to you gotta remember Anderson Silva was there.
That's true. Yeah, it could be second. I'll give him second.
But my thing is, he's just running through motherfuckers. He's that good. And he's so much better at everything. So like, he's the reason why I think Vittori stopped wrestling. Like, he stopped going for takedowns because he just looking like Robert Whitaker. He would have been too good. I wouldn't have been able to do nothing. So I shut up, nigga. Go fucking take a motherfucker down. But yeah, Bobby Knuckles has all around game. And if it wasn't for Izzy, like, he would be the champion, and we would be like, he'd be like on a Max Holloway type line. We would really think like, yo, there's nobody that can fuck with bro. So that's why Drake is not the most African motherfucker in the UFC. I don't really have a vote in that situation, but like, come on now. But isn't going? I just don't see any way for him to win. So if he were to win, how would he do it, Paul?
So my boy Drake has got a new nose.
He said, "My boy."
That boy Drake has got a new nose. Before he could only breathe through one nostril. So he was a 50% air. He was a 50% air intake guy and was still outpacing a lot of people because he was throwing the same shit every round. He never got tired. Is two nostrils Dricus du Plessis gonna be a mythical fighter? That's what a lot of people are saying right now. Other than that, his cardio and pace is all he got going for him. But I, I want to say he's not technical, but I can't say that because maybe he looks sloppy, but he's doing shit very technically. That because like Jared can not Jared, but Brunson was taking him down, but then of course he gets on top somehow or another, and then knocks him out. And like that, like he just looks so sloppy. He looks so sloppy doing it. Down this like he's gonna get caught, but he just keeps slipping and swarming his way out of those bad positions and end up winning. So maybe he's doing I don't know, but I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or what. But he also now apparently will be able to breathe better. So if he was already had crazy cardio, maybe he's gonna have like more Rob type cardio after. Who knows? Like that's the only way I can see him winning. But those are I believe are very those are like 1 to 2% odds. I think I don't know, but I think whenever this fight got announced, I said Whitaker should be like a -500 favorite. So the fact that he's only -380, it's a steal. The fucking steal to me. I think I don't know. Maybe this will be the one. This will be the one that when that Dricus wins, like Twitter breaks down. I would be pissed if I've seen all my tweets for the day and Dricus wins, and I miss out on all those tweets.
Bro, Twitter would be in a fucking frenzy.
Like Enriquez has all of Africa with him, bro. Can't doubt the nation.
He has South Africa on his side for sure.
He was a flag bearer at the World Cup, bro. I'll give him that. That's kind of gangster. I don't know if it was the World Cup, but he was definitely representing South Africa with the flag. I don't know where he was.
I respect it. But Bobby Knuckles, UD. I'm giving it 49-46.
It's not a 5 round fight. It's a 3 round fight. It's also mixed.
Oh, it is. I'm so used to Bobby Whitaker main events. Oh my gosh! You think
like
that
that
plays a
cardio.
factor?
Like if all Dricus needs is a good round and a half to make it interesting.
I say, do you think that plays a factor? The fact that they doesn't have to go to extra 2 rounds.
100%, because I'm not saying Whitaker takes rounds off because he still looks good in the first round, but he has no room of error. Like if Dricus comes out and does his Donkey Kong fucking fist throwing, and you don't throw much back, and this is like because he could out volume you, like, but you could also make him look like Marvin Vittori and just outclass him, which I think will happen. But 3 round fight factor will make this very interesting because Dricus could come in and look really good in the first round, maybe take him down and just win control time in the first round. And then that's really shaky because then Whitaker has no room for error. It's like you gotta win these back to back rounds. And like maybe that's where people are betting on Dricus. Maybe that's why people are taking the long shot odds here on the South African. He's a tall guy, bigger guy. Because Whitaker wasn't always like this isn't like he's a small dude for fucking middleweight. So Dricus is gonna have the weight advantage. He's taller. He has more reach. like a good 2.5 inches on reach, an extra 2 inches in height. But Whitaker, I don't know, but I'm kind of hyping up Dricus, and maybe I'm like walking myself into a way he wins. But Whitaker just outclasses everyone. Taller, shorter, stronger, faster. Whitaker beats them all outside of Izzy.
Hell yeah. That's what it is, man. I'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I think the winner gets Izzy, loser gets Sean Strickland, and then Sean Strickland has to beat that, especially if it's Whitaker beats that person, and that's how Sean Strickland gets the title shot.
What if how you just put yourself in your mental state? You're watching live. You're in the group chat. We're probably gonna be going live on YouTube, Robbie and Mac, all that. Put yourself in the mental state of you're watching that happening, and the first round goes by, and Dricus was on top for 4.5 minutes. And you're going into the second round now. Like there's like how are you talking in the Twitter chat? Like how you like that's it. The world it could get real shaky after that first round.
Oh, we going insane. I'm like, bro, this is bullshit.
This is crazy. I'm like, Whitaker got to go win back to back, right? And then also the second round starts off, he gets taken down again for like all of a sudden. That's what I'm saying. Like 3 round fights kind of could go crazy, but we can't spend too much time on this one because we do got a back to back title fights. Brandon Moreno, first title defense against Alexander Pantoja. Moreno minus 200, Pantoja plus 170. Pantoja's 2-0 against Moreno. Beat him in tough, I believe, and then beat him again. That's when Moreno left the UFC. I think he went to Jungle FC, and then he came back, went on to have that championship run with then having the fucking quadrilogy with Davis and Figueroa. Now we get the fight. This will be the trilogy for them. Does Pantoja win it? Does Pantoja go 3-0 against Moreno? Has Moreno leveled up since their last 2 encounters? Or does Pantoja go and figure it out?
I mean, everybody has a lot of respect for Pantoja, and I'm not tripping on it, but this is a completely different Brandon Moreno. Like, this is not that same. I don't even know who that dude was that got beat by Pantoja those first 2 times because this guy here just is a world beater. He just fucked up Davis and Figueroa. Like, he is a problem. He's an issue. And you can come with a good game plan, but I think he can adapt. And I think that's what that's why people, maybe that's something I'm the only person that thinks that. Because a lot of people are putting this as a Pantoja could do it. And I'm like, nah. I mean, Pantoja has a nice ground game and he can get some crazy nice subs. But nah, Brandon Moreno's not going for it. Liver kick, he gonna do like he did Carl France.
See, the one thing that does scare me is just how, because Moreno, we were looking at him when he was fighting Figueroa, and it was like, okay, Figueroa was kind of the better striker, even though Moreno would have his moments. But when it hit the mat, Moreno was the more active. Like he was always fucking rolling, reversing, getting into better positions, kind of getting into submission attempts. He was having his way kind of on the mat. Pantoja is like that against everyone I've ever seen him. I haven't watched those 2 fights, but like I think he submitted Moreno or maybe knocked him down in those first fights. But I know his last 2 fights, he submitted Alex Perez in the first round, and then he submitted Brandon Royval in the second round. Brandon Royval is nice on the mat, and he can stand up and strike. Like so, Pantoja had to run through some hitters before he went up against Manuel Cape, who was at the time I think top 6 in the division, and a heavy hitter, beat him. So like he's had to go the tough route to get his title shot. I love I love Moreno though, but like it does kind of scare me because like I think there will be moments it hits the mat, and Pantoja's is I think that's at a world class level when it hits the mat, and I just don't want to see it go there. I'm a root with my dog Moreno. Personally, I'm rooting for him, but my pick is gonna be Pantoja here.
Wow, you already know over here. is Viva Mexico. So you know we got Brandon Moreno. That's crazy, Pebble. I would have never thought that out of you.
I don't want to do it, brother, because I'm gonna have to bet the underdog here too. But I think this is gonna be an exciting fight. I think I think it's gonna be a stand up fight for the first few rounds, but eventually we'll hit the mat. Pantoja's gonna just end up winning somehow. Submission. Pantoja submission, bro. I'm calling it.
Moreno's getting the dub, and then he's going to go watch a couple episodes of One Piece after this.
And then we got another Mexican here in the main event. We got Alexander Volkanovski taking on Yair Rodriguez. Fresh blood for Volkanovski, someone he hasn't seen yet. So it should be kind of exciting. But Volk is minus 400 to Yair's plus 310. The bookmakers are kind of leaning heavy right here on Volkanovski. Do you see Alexander the Great getting knocked off his throne? Or is he here
Sure.
to stay?
Motherfucking fuck no. I mean, Yair Rodriguez, don't get me wrong, dangerous fighter, unpredictable. His kicks are crazy. I was watching just like a 2 minute highlights of just his kicks. Shit was phenomenal. But this is Alexander the motherfucking Great. We're talking about the same dude that avenged both his slightly controversial, very controversial wins over Max Holloway, beat the fuck out the Korean Zombie, survived the fucking guillotine and triangle from T City. This motherfucker fears nothing. He doesn't fear Dagestani wrestling. He got up out of it. Like he fears nothing. And he trains for everything. So like I think Yair can have a lot of success with his kicks because his kicks are crazy. Like he'll throw a T kick and then he'll throw liver kicks. He can throw spinning back kicks. His kicks are my favorite part of his game, and because of the size difference, he can use that to measure range. But I still don't see Volk losing this. Like Volk is a fucking issue. He just went up to 155, fought the number two ranked guy, the number 1 2 ranked guy in the world, beat him in my opinion, and came back and immediately told him what I need my fight. We need to get rid of this unification belt. But yeah, I got Volk, man. No way.
See, Yair, in my eyes, that Brian Ortega fight still, I don't know. I'm still unhappy with that shoulder getting popped out of place, and that's how he wins it. I still think Brian Ortega would have won, and that is probably me being biased to being a T City fan. But I will say he did beat Josh Emmett. He did get cracked once or twice, but he ate those shots. Ended up submitting homeboy. And his Korean Zombie KO, when he does that little twist elbow over the back KO, that was like one of the best KOs I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Volkanovski, right? Yeah, one thing that stands out is his unanimous decision loss to Max Holloway, which was a great fight. Don't get me wrong, but Max won that fight. And the last time Max and Volk fought, Volkanovski had his way with him. And I've never seen Max get dominated like that. And outside of Volkanovski, I don't think I'll ever see Max get dominated like that anymore. So, like, yes, it's fresh blood, everything, but if right now, if this was a main event, Yair versus Volkanovski, Yair versus Max, I would think Max would still beat him. And knowing what I know what Volk did to him, I know MMA math don't make sense, but like Yair's a fun striker, not the most technical. Like he's still very technical, but we've seen him get outboxed and outstruck against Max Holloway, who is he's not going to throw all the flashy shit like you do, but he's much more refined. And then Volkanovski just tore him apart. So yeah, that's gonna be my reasoning behind like why I'm riding the Volkanovski right here. And it's crazy to say there's like 3 Mexicans fighting on this card, and I'm not picking any of them.
Crazy. I thought you picked Yair Rodriguez.
No, I got Volk. Volk's about to beat the what? Like Yair gonna beat Max, and what I just saw happen to Max against Volk, like it's hard not to see the same thing going. Maybe he has a striker's chance because he does throw shit that you cannot account for. You can't account
Facts.
for like a twisting fucking back elbow as you're blitzing in. Like that's his one way. But I've seen Volkanovski get caught in some sticky situations, and he finds a way out of it and wins. So
No
that
cap.
I'm
I'm
rocking.
looking forward to some Volk ground and pound. I would love for Volk to get this to get to the floor, Volk past the guard and say, yeah, it's time to fuck some shit up. But this card is gonna be a banger. For Tough, the episode is actually going live as we speak. Oh, I guess it's over now. But Conor McGregor is 0-6.
Hate to see it. Like
Tragic. I'm actually about to rewatch the episode now. It's on live on ESPN plus. But that's tragic. And this season is not doing numbers, and it has the ESPN backing. It has Conor McGregor. The Ultimate Fighter might be cooked. I'm not gonna lie to you.
might be over with.
Not over. Not over as if they're not gonna do it anymore, but like unless they do an entire overhaul or some crazy cool shit, yeah, it's cooked. I don't see them boys. They done suck the juice out of it. They're not hitting nothing else with it.
See, what made Tough so great was how low budget and authentic it was. And like you get a whole bunch of testosterone guys in a house together and let them figure it out. And then you start getting some shit going. That's what made it great. Those little clips that live on forever that still pop up.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's what made it great. Now it's so if you want that shit to happen again, you gotta make it you gotta get the slap fighters. Keep
that would be crazy.
get the slap fighters who are fighting for $1,000 in a house, low budget. Like like you don't have to put much money into it. And then I'm telling you, people are gonna be intrigued watching these motherfuckers.
And you can feed them alcohol like it's water.
Yeah, like let them like they're not gonna let the politics get in the way of what they're doing. And you're not gonna really hurt the MFC UFC brand if anything bad does happen. So that's just my opinion.
I'm fucking with it, man. But yeah, Tough right now. We'll see how it goes. I mean, they had a little moment of violence. McGregor pushed the fuck out of Michael Chandler.
Oh, I seen
But
that. I seen that. I saw it on the Totally Blitz page. The leaks.
nah, that shit was funny when that shit leaked because I know they were upset. But it ended up Dana White literally scurried off into that ring. Immediately when he saw shit got spicy, did the race, got into the ring, told Michael Chandler to slide, even though Connor started. Connor is the one that kind of escalated it. So
See, I like that. Made me like Chandler more. Was watching that clip. The way he was like, "Ooh, let's get it going." Like when he was getting hyped, I was like, "Oh, I kind of fuck with that energy right there." Like you got in his head. Like you're pissing him off, and now you're like, "Oh yeah, I'll answer the call."
that's real nigga shit, man. But that's UFC 290, man. That's Tough 31.
And then
Conor McGregor, hopefully they get a win eventually. They only got two more matches, two more fights left. But is there anything else you want to drop on, Paul?
when's International Fight Week actually gonna be on international ground? I think this is like the last few years. It's all been in Las Vegas.
That was it not usually in Vegas?
No, it is usually in Vegas, but I'm just saying it's International Fight Week. How come
Mm,
we not in South Africa or New Zealand or Mexico or Brazil? We're literally like there's more of those any one of those fighters than there is Americans on this card.
it's because Vegas is the fight capital of the world.
That's true. I will give them that. But until Vegas gives me an arena like Japan does, they're gonna have they're gonna have
Right.
they might have to hold their breath.
I was about to say, the what do they call those gangsters in Japan? You know the gangsters in Japan that
Yakuza.
the Yakuza, yeah, they ain't going for that.
Yeah, Dana White is not stepping foot over though. None of them.
But all right, man, that's the motherfucking card for you, man. This has been a great episode, man. But if you didn't know, we don't mind telling you again that this is the Totally Blitz podcast. My name is Kev Waterboy Savoy. I'm in this bitch with Paul Pickham with him constantly. You should go like, subscribe, and share this with a friend. And let that person know that they're a bitch.